High cost of living forces commercial drivers in Sokoto to look for alternative means of livelihood. Death toll from diphtheria outbreak in Kaduna rises to 17. Jega Mbari lead ECOWAS AU pre-election fact-finding mission to Liberia. On the foreign scene, dozens killed as flash floods hit Afghanistan and Pakistan. These are the headlines on Trust News Update this hour. Thanks for joining. I am Ayuba Ilya. And now the details. Commercial drivers in Sokoto are looking for alternative means of livelihood as the business is declining in the state in the last few days due to high cost of fuel. Ishao Adamu examines the situation in this report.
The removal of fuel subsidy by present administration, which led to the increase in pump price from 167 naira to 550 and later to 617 naira per litre, has imposed serious hardships on Nigerians, including commercial drivers. Fuel, as an essential segment in the commercial driving business, always determines the transport fares. A commercial driver will charge passenger depending on the distances a driver covers. Commercial drivers in Sokoto State have lamented the recent increase in fuel price, which they said has invited untold hardship to them and members of their families.
I'm
a driver, and it is important for government to find a lasting solution to this problem, especially for we the commercial drivers. The amount we buy fuel has made transport fare to increase, which has made the situation more worse for us. A trip from Sokoto Gusau in Zamfara State that cost only 2,000 naira before, the increase is now 4,000 naira per person, while from Sokoto to Kano is now 8,000 naira as against the usual 4,000 naira. From Sokoto to Zaria, which was 4,000 naira before, has doubled to 8,000 naira per head, while Sokoto to Kano has went up to 10,000 naira from 8,000 naira per passenger. Also, transport fare from Sokoto Birnin Kebbi has jacked up to 3,000 naira as against the normal charges of 2,000 naira per passenger. We are the drivers, and we are pleading on the government to do the needful. We are here whole day and night, and passengers have drastically reduced due to the removal of the fuel subsidy. Some of us have to leave this work because the business is no more encouraging. A commercial driver flying Sokoto to Kano route is now consuming fuel worth 55,000 naira as against the normal 16,000 naira per trip. Another driver traveling to Kaduna from Sokoto is now consuming 50,000 naira worth of fuel per trip, as against the 15,000 naira before the increase in the pump price. For the past 1 week, I have not had a passenger, a situation that is worse and discouraging to the business. Now our families are expecting us to bring food for them. This is a very terrible situation because we can't move without loading passengers. Courtesy of the hike in the transport fares, the patronage the commercial drivers are enjoying has drastically reduced as few passengers travel nowadays. Commercial drivers are spending many days at Sokoto Motor Park waiting for their turns to get passengers for trip to either Kano or Kaduna states due to scarcity of travelers. Track up. Unless the price of fuel is reduced, travelers will continue to spend more on transport to keep the business of commercial driving alive.
Meanwhile, farmers in Bauchi State asked the federal government to come up with palliative for those in agriculture to guarantee food security. They made the call in an interview with Adamu Imam, stressing the need for the government to look inward in addressing food shortages in the country.
With food inflation biting hard in the country, the agricultural sector, which employs a substantial number of people, will naturally come to the fore. Farmers in Bauchi State are therefore asking the government to create the necessary incentives to mobilize them to produce enough food for the country. Gambo Ibrahim, a Bauchi-based farmer, says government has a sole responsibility for whatever affects the society, hence the need for new strategy in reaching the common man.
We
do not see the presence of government in terms of palliatives for farmers. They're supposed to check who are the real farmers to ascertain what kind of support to give. What we want now is new approach to reach us, we the local farmers, especially now that price of farm implements have doubled in the market. Even if you can make it to the level of getting excess food out of what you cultivate as a farmer, at least will reduce the pressure from poverty and hunger, while the authorities should rise up and do the needful in this country. Farming can salvage the country from economic problems, but if space is available, many have interest in farming, but no government support or palliatives yet. The farmers also maintain that agriculture is the backbone of the Nigerian economy in view of its contribution to the gross domestic product, GDP. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
A senator representing Anambra Central in the Senate, Victor Ume, has asked the federal government to use the 500 billion naira it earmarked for palliative to build additional refinery instead of paying meager handouts to Nigerians. The lawmaker who interfaced with journalists at the National Assembly says making petroleum products available will eliminate the need to continue with the fraudulent subsidy regime whose stoppage has pushed Nigerians into untold hardship and economic subjugation. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Fuel subsidy is costing the nation 400 billion naira monthly, according to Nigeria's oil company, the NNPCL, making it difficult for government to make meaningful impact in other areas of development needs. Debate around removal of petroleum subsidy rages for quite some time, until its recent stoppage by the Bola Tinubu administration. But experts are divided over the policy option due to its adverse effects on the nation's fragile economy. Senator Victor Ume is amongst those picking holes in the decision.
There must be a way of tackling our problems from the foundation. If we don't build refineries, why are you opposing subsidy if you don't have refineries that can refine these products and you have it available? So we have done it is a populist action by the president, but we have been caught napping because there's no substitute, there's no alternative source of these petroleum products. Government has had a request to approve 6 companies to bring in refined petroleum products. That's not the solution. We are having resort to importation again.
While the Nigerian government under President Tinubu is considering providing 8,000 naira monthly handouts to 12 million households in addition to salary increase, the lawmaker says such is grossly inadequate and will not address the negative impact of the subsidy removal.
Because Nigerians are suffering. But when the breakdown came out, everybody got disappointed. 8,000 naira per month to 12 million families. 8,000 before you leave here to the gate is vanished. Can a family live even on that 8,000? It's not possible. So a better plan would have been to use the 500 billion naira to build a refinery. Everybody will endure the pain. Within 4 years maximum, a refinery will be up here.
Nigerians' reliance on importation of refined petroleum product due to the nation's inability to keep the country's 4 refineries working necessitated the need for government subsidy, which has become a conduit pipe for monumental corruption. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Death toll from the diphtheria outbreak in Kaduna State has risen to 17, with 68 suspected cases identified across the state as of Sunday, the Kaduna State government confirms. Out of the figure, 14 deaths were recorded in the Kafanchan Jama'a local government area, while 3 fatalities occurred in Makarfi local government area. Giving an update on the diphtheria outbreak, the chief epidemiologist of the State Ministry of Health, Dr. Jeremiah Daiko, explained that the results of 20 samples that had been collected and sent by the ministry for analysis were being awaited, while the 48 cases on admission were in stable condition. Given a breakdown, Daiko disclosed that 12 patients were on admission at the General Hospital in Makarfi, 35 at the Kafanchan General Hospital, and 1 patient at the Kubo Primary Health Care Center. The chief epidemiologist said that the ministry had intensified the search for active cases with contact tracing, risk communication, activities and movement of affected cases to the health facility for management. Vice President Kashim Shettima said that the new government Renewed Hope agenda will fund healthcare delivery and engage in local manufacture of health products, including equipment. He added that resident doctors across the country will be paid as well. Shettima stated this during the commissioning of key projects and foundation laying of health centers at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital in Borno State. The Vice President, represented by Special Advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Salma Ibrahim, commissioned Child Institute, 150-bed capacity female hostel, radiology extension and foundation laying of ICT and heart centers. She said that the federal government will expand investment on medical education, reverse brain drain, and medical tourism, revealing that it has approved the payment of allowance for resident doctors.
We also want to focus on local manufacturing of health products, medicines, equipments, and supplies. We will proactively expand insurance coverage. The government commits to reach at least minimum of 50 million Nigerians by 2027. Thirdly, also another burning issue within our institution is the payment of the resident doctors. This has been approved.
Now, I'm going to the possibility to sustain this beautiful alongside of the land. The right technologies, artificial intelligence, robots, data science, the internet of things that are now defining every aspect of human existence must be included in that issue of universal and education. There is a good chance the universal and education in the future.
The hospital, I will say in a nutshell, provides services for 33 million people of the northeastern Nigeria. It's the highest referral center in this region. And many patients come for services from Niger, Cameroon, and the Republic of Chad. The level of patronage in the last few years have increased to 150%. We really wanted to make the hospital to be the largest hospital in the West African sub-region. That's number one. Number two, we do not want to refer our patient to most common procedures in any other hospital within the country. Thirdly, we want to embark on standard researches that is oriented towards solving the problems of our community. When we took over in 2018, these were the three things that we put at the back of our mind.
The Kebbi State government has begun aerial spray of chemicals to kill migratory pests across its frontline local government areas, Argungu, Bagudu, and Kalogo. Governor Nasiru Idris, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Yakubu Bala Tafida, as the flag of the aerial operation, said that it was to ensure food security of the state. He noted that the pests, especially quail birds, remain a serious threat to the production of cereal crops. He assured that the state government was determined to fight any menace that will truncate the successes being recorded in the agricultural sector in the state. The Lagos State government has dismissed allegations that it held a mass burial for 103 victims of Lekki Tollgate #EndSARS protest. This is contained in a statement issued by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Olusegun Ogboe, in Lagos on Sunday. A leaked memo addressed to the Lagos State Ministry of Health indicated that the state government approved 61.2 million naira for the mass burial of 103 persons identified as 2020 EndSARS victims has gone viral on social media, sparking outrage. The memo dated July 19 captures steps for the processing of funds after approval by the governor. Ogbonge said that the peddlers of the news were deliberately misinterpreting and sensationalizing a letter from the Lagos State Government Public Procurement Agency to misinform the public. He said in the aftermath of the EndSARS violence, the Office of the Chief Coroner invited members of the public through public adverts and announcement who had lost loved ones or whose relatives had been declared missing between October 19 and October 27, 2020 from various clashes, as mentioned, to contact the Department of Pathology and Forensic Medicine of the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital to help with identification of these casualties deposited in the state-owned morgues. However, after almost 3 years, the bodies remained unclaimed, adding to the congestion of the morgues. He said that the decongestion of the public morgues was a periodic and regular exercise approved by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State to free up space in mortuaries that have a large number of unclaimed bodies. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at why Guru Market remains passive 6 months after. Details and more after the break.
Let's take you on a ride through a series of colors, events, concerts, and lots more. Are you planning an event? EventScope has you covered. Make Trust TV your #1 choice to cover your event. Call 080-3591-0553. EventScope, making your event classic. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Trust TV News for latest updates on EventScope.
Back, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at the top stories again. High cost of living forces commercial drivers in Sokoto to look for alternative means of livelihood. Death toll from diphtheria outbreak in Kaduna rises to 17. In other news, police in Ogun State on Sunday in Abeokuta said operatives have arrested a group of 10 senior secondary school students alleged to have assaulted a teacher. The police public relations officer in Ogun, SP Omolola Odutola, said that the students' arrest came after the victim, Kolawole Shonuga, made a formal report to the police on the alleged assault. Shonuga had said that he prevented one of the students from being involved in a malpractice during an examination in the school. It was gathered that the incident occurred on Tuesday at Ishambi Comprehensive High School in Ilasan, that's in Ilisa, Remo, Ikene local government area of the state. Shonuga, while invigilating the unified examination for the SSS1 arts class students, caught one Ashimi Adebanjo cheating. He had gone on to seize the 18-year-old student's examination paper. It was reported that after the school hours, some students formed a gang to waylay the teacher at the school's gateway. Now, they hit him with a stick on the head and beat him up. Odutola disclosed that police from the Remo division later pounced on the students and arrested 10 of them. Reacting to the incident, the state chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools in Ogun, Felix Agbesanwa, frowned at the incident. He insisted that the students must face the consequences to serve as deterrent. Business activities at Guru Ultra Modern Market are yet to commence nearly 6 months after Yobe State Governor Membala Buni commissioned the market. In this report, Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin investigates why this place remains empty 3 years after completion.
This is Guru, a town in the Nigeria's northeastern state of Yobe. For generations, it remains one of the most important commercial centers in the Nigeria's north. Although neglected, abandoned and deserted, the Guru train station was once used to transport cattle and other agricultural produce to different parts of the country, while the popular Guru Cattle and Central Markets helps attract traders from Chad and Niger Republic. Not long ago, Yobe State government constructed this ultra-modern market in Guru, hoping to enhance economic activities and to attract local investments into the area. Nearly 6 months after commissioning, there seems to be no sign of commercial activities here.
If I can recall, it is only a month or so that we were inaugurated as board members in this market.
Okay.
So it is now that we are starting to see that how to make things go through. Therefore, it has not stayed long. But I assure you, in next 3-6 months, if you come to Nguru, you will be surprised.
Residents who were hitherto trading here are relocated to the opposite side and were promised shops upon completion of the market. Now they allege that shops and stores are only given to politicians and highly influential people. They have given the market allocation, but none of us was given a single shop. They only divided the shops, shared the shops among politicians, big businessmen, and highly influential people within and outside Guru. They are given shops here at between 200 to 300,000 naira. Honestly, we cannot afford. It's not that we don't want to do the business or we don't want the trade. This is what we do every day. This is what keeps us alive. But the money is too much for us to pay. The traders are also under notice to vacate this place within the next 2 weeks. Almost all the people you see around here were the people trading inside this park before the construction of this market. Now the market has been constructed, shops were allocated. Unfortunately, none of these people, none of them was given a single shop. Although authorities handling the market claimed that trading will soon commence here, but residents in Guru are however worried on whether this ultra-modern market is a project dead on arrival. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
Ahead of Liberia's presidential and legislative elections scheduled for 10th of October 2023, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the African Union have deployed a joint pre-election fact-finding mission to Liberia to assess the country's state of preparedness for the polls. This is contained in a statement on Sunday night from ECOWAS. The statement said that the 23 to 29 July mission is being co-led by former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of Nigeria, Professor Attahiru Jega, for ECOWAS, and Ambassador Calixte Mbari, head of Democracy, Elections and Constitutionalism of the African Union Commission. Other members of the mission are Ambassador Haja Alari Cole, member of the ECOWAS Council of the Wise, Jean Mensa, chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, and Elsie Ouedraogo, chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission of Burkina Faso. Others are Mohamed Suleiman Isa, Deputy Ambassador of Nigeria to ECOWAS, Dr. Syriac Agneketom, ECOWAS Director of Peacekeeping and Regional Security, as well as joint technical team from the ECOWAS and AU commissions. Now, on the foreign scene, at least 31 people have been killed and dozens of others are missing after heavy flooding from seasonal rains in Afghanistan, as 13 people died due to heavy rains and landslides in the neighboring Pakistan. The Taliban's appointed spokesman for the Afghanistan's disaster ministry, Shafiullah Rahimi, said on Sunday that at least 31 people were killed, 74 were injured, and 41 others were missing after flooding over the past 3 days. Now, flash flood hits the capital, Kabul, and the Maidan, Wardak, and Ghazni provinces. Now, he said that the majority of the casualties were in West Kabul and Maidan Wardak. Rahimi said that about 250 livestock perished in the floods. Taliban government spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said that some 40 other people were missing after hundreds of homes were damaged or destroyed, and rescue teams were busy conducting search and rescue operations. In Pakistan, 13 people died and 7 were injured due to heavy rains and landslide as monsoon season continued to affect parts of the country on Sunday. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye.